Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 16th Annual People's Choice Awards. First, let's welcome our honorees on stage. A lot of them. A lot of people. Please rise for the singing of our national anthem, performed by Ms. Bella Caprero, class of 2022.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Bella. That was awesome. Let's give Bella one more round of applause. Good evening. My name is Dr. Castle. I'm one of the assistant principals here at Seneca High School. I have the good fortune of working in an outstanding school district and an exemplary school that is surrounded by people who care tremendously about our staff, our students, and our community. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank some of our strongest supporters, including our principal, Mr. Spector, our teachers who run our Renaissance program that sponsors tonight's event, Miss Casey Mikowski, Mrs. Sandy Langen, and Mrs. Jamie Myers. It is an honor and privilege to be here tonight to host the 2019 People's Choice Award ceremony. I get the opportunity to come to Seneca High School every single day, and Seneca really is a special place. And being an educator is equally as special. I mean, it's a privilege, really. Being an educator is also bittersweet. Educators have the opportunity to meet people like these students on stage, and before we know it, it's June of their senior year, and they leave us to live their own lives. Our hope that is in some way we made an impact on them that they can take with them for the rest of their lives. Tonight, though, isn't about the impact we've made on them, but about the impact they've made on us. At Seneca, we are blessed with the opportunity to work with smart, talented, honest, caring, and dedicated students. The 60 students on stage represent all of those characteristics and more. They were chosen because they made an impression on all of us. From a pool of over 1,100 students, just 60 will receive a medal tonight based on their strength of character. To the honorees, it's who you are that makes you special, and don't ever underestimate the impact that you might have on someone else's life. Tonight is a great example of that. Tonight, your actions will be recognized. Tonight, the students on stage will hear the impact that their actions have had on the staff at Seneca High School. The staff has identified you as great human beings, and we want others to see why we feel that way. This is a chance to acknowledge and honor your character, your charm, your integrity, and your humility. Be proud of yourselves for being nominated, and please wear your medals proudly at your graduation ceremonies. Before we begin our awards presentations, I want to say a few thank yous. First, to our dedicated teachers in the back, administrators, and support staff who help make Seneca a great place. Thank you for recognizing these students who walk through the halls each day and for coming out tonight to pay tribute to them. To our guests, parents, guardians, families, and friends, thank you for your positive influence on the next generation and allowing us the opportunity to get to know them each and every day. To Russo's Farm, thank you for the flowers you donated tonight. They're gorgeous. And to our TV crew and our custodial staff, your behind-the-scenes work is always appreciated. And finally, to our People's Choice nominees, you are the reason we're here tonight. It's now time to introduce our principal, Mr. Jeff Spector, to say a few words.
Good evening. This is Dr. Castle's first year as assistant principal, and I learned a valuable lesson just now, is to not let him speak before me, because he just stole my whole speech. So I'm going to freelance a little bit, if that's okay, which is never a good idea, but I'm going to do it anyway. First, I do want to thank our Renaissance Club and our Renaissance Club members and advisors. Thanks so much once again for hosting this tonight. Renaissance, very simply, is a club that recognizes what we do every day, but those people who do it extraordinary, and we really appreciate what you do both for our students and our staff. I do want to recognize one student before we go, because she's on stage, and this was sitting on my desk, so I thought it was a good time to do it. One of our students on stage was recognized as the Lenape Regional High School Volunteer Award winner for Seneca High School, and she received a scholarship for that, and I have the scholarship in my hands. So why not let's recognize Gabby Roberts for being the Seneca High School representative for that. So Gabby, come on up. And then I also want to take the opportunity, since we have a small group of people here today, to recognize one of our staff members who has been as invaluable as anybody who's ever worked here in creating the culture that we have at Seneca High School. She's been a great staff member. She's been a parent of 2 graduates. She's the biggest advocate for students you ever got to see. And I'm only going to embarrass her in front of 60 students and their parents instead of a whole bunch of them. So Kathy Donahue is retiring at the end of the school year, and I just want to congratulate her on that. I too want to recognize our staff. We have 60 students being recognized tonight. That's about as many as I can remember as a long time, and I appreciate them taking a rainy night to come out. But more importantly, the type of people and teachers that work here at Seneca High School want to connect with your kids and make the best experience for them, the students here, as they can. And they do it every single day, and I'm so appreciative for every single one of you, whether you're here or not. Thank you all so much for what you do every day. And then to our students, instead of our prepared words, I'm going to talk about a podcast I heard on my way back to work today about social media influencers. I didn't know that was a job. You can have a job as a social media influencer. I don't know how you get that job, but I do know this. You guys have the ability to influence other people. And that is the most valuable thing you can have. And tonight we are recognizing you because you've touched us. It's our job to influence you. We got paid to come to work, and you know what you did? You influenced us. And maybe it's because of a 4-year relationship, and maybe it's because of a 1-year relationship, and maybe it's because of a one-time interaction. But I thank you because I have the greatest job in the world, not a social media influencer. I don't have a social media account. But being the principal of this school, coming to work with you fine young people every day. So thank you so much. Congratulations. And now let's recognize you.
Thank you, Mr. Spector. And now for our presentation of awards. A reminder to all staff, please remember to introduce the next presenter before you leave the podium. And first up, we have Mr. Brad Bauer.
Thank you, Mr. Castle. My People's Choice Award goes to Mr. Eric Pierre. Eric, come on up. I've had the pleasure of watching Eric grow into a fine young man in the past 4 years. He has truly taken advantage of all that Seneca has had to offer and has become an integral part of our school. I've seen his leadership in our school, on our athletic fields, and in various school functions. I am positive that he will excel in whatever life throws at him. Eric represents the very best of what is Seneca family. Eric, congratulations. Up next, Ms. Kathy Donahue.
Good evening. My People's Choice Award goes to Shane Scanlon. I met Shane this year as a chaperone on a trip to Give Kids the World in Florida, a service trip where he volunteered to help others who are experiencing difficulties. On this trip, I was impressed by his enthusiasm and confidence and his true desire to make a difference. He was excited to be helping, and his kindness and compassion for others was apparent in all of his actions and words. When we returned to our everyday school life, I noticed that Shane goes out of his way to do the right thing. He recognizes that it is the people that influence you and the people that you influence that make our life so meaningful. I love that Shane really sees people. He's intuitive and smart and understands what makes us tick. He sees us all as human beings. He's very in tune to the feelings and needs of others, not a typical trait in many young people. Shane goes out of his way to say hello every time he sees me, and I appreciate his attention to manners. His charm, his determination, and his willingness to help others are going to carry him far. His friendly demeanor impacts everyone around him, and it makes me know that our future is bright, that there are people like Shane in the world where kindness matters. Shane Scanlon. Next up, Miss Romanecki.
My People's, I'm a little bit shorter. There we go, okay. My People's Choice nominee is John Brescia. The day before Thanksgiving break, John told me he had something to give me. that every year at Thanksgiving, he liked to give his teachers a thank you note. I opened up the envelope, and there was a pencil-drawn bowl. I don't know if you can see it. And written in the middle is the word knowledge. You see, John is part of Seneca's Knowledge Bowl team. We go around competing in Jeopardy-like academic competitions around the state. Inside the Knowledge Bowl, right here, John wrote, "I wanted to be part of Seneca's Knowledge Bowl team since I learned about it in middle school. I'm so excited to be part of it." John, the Knowledge Bowl you made me is so special to me. I've thought about it all year and appreciate the time you took to make it for me. Right inside is all of his words to me. I also thank you for recruiting so many members of the team. We have the biggest team we've ever had because of your enthusiasm and, let's face it, basically forcing your friends to join. You're a great captain and an invaluable member of the team. Thank you. Next up, Mrs. Beth Zerone. Oh, John.
Aubree Bruckno, please join me on stage. It is my good fortune to have Aubree in 2 classes this year. She brightens each one with her creativity, work ethic, sense of humor, and unique personality. Aubree is that student who asks you how your day is going and truly cares about your response. Her smile and laugh are contagious. What I most appreciate about Aubree is that she is true to herself and willing to take risks for her personal growth. She doesn't make excuses, but instead owns what makes her who she is. Everybody has challenges in life. Aubree uses hers to help others and to foster compassion. She personifies my favorite quote. Vivian Green said, "Life isn't about waiting for the storm to pass. It's about learning how to dance in the rain." Congratulations, Aubree, on your People's Choice recognition and for a successful freshman year. Your future is bright at Seneca and beyond. Thanks. Next up is Mr. Greg Bauer.
Good evening. Congratulations to all of our nominees tonight. I'm very proud of my People's Choice Award winner this year, Mr. Luke Christopher. Luke's an outstanding young man. He greets me each day with a pleasant, "Hello, Mr. Bauer." He works hard in class and always gives his best effort. He's able to overcome obstacles to succeed. He has a great sense of humor and is always willing to help and work well with his peers in class. I know that he will continue to succeed throughout the rest of his career here at Seneca and beyond. Congratulations, Luke. Thank you. Our next presenter, Ms. Mikowski.
My People's Choice nominee is Maddie Epps. Maddie is my definition of a successful person. She is strongly motivated towards achievement. She has a tireless work ethic, and she is able to handle adversity without any complaints. There is always a smile on her face, and she is a student who makes every day special for those around her. With her positive outlook on life and her enthusiasm to learn, Maddie is a true model for others. It is students like Maddie that make Seneca High School such a special place, and I am fortunate to have been one of those teachers who have had the pleasure of having her in class. I have no doubt that the future will hold nothing but academic and athletic successes for Maddie. Thank you for reminding me every day of why I became a teacher. Next up is Mrs. Jamie Myers.
Okay, I knew this student was going to be my People's Choice this year since the first week of school. I've never met a student who has the impeccable manners that this student does. In addition to his manners, his work ethic is out of this world. He tries his best in everything he does. He pushes himself to improve whenever and wherever he can, and he's a solid role model for his peers. Dylan Griffin, it has been an honor to get to know you this school year, and I am thrilled to call you my People's Choice.
Thank you.
Next up, we have Mrs. Jackie Ford.
My People's Choice nominee is Samaya Kelly. Can you come up? This beautiful young lady lights up a room with her upbeat personality. You would never know that she was new to Seneca this year, as she quickly found her place among our Seneca family and was calling out answers or yelling at a math problem. Samaya seriously yells at math problems out loud from her desk. But it truly helps her because she always figures it out. Her personality is contagious. I dare anyone to hold back a smile in her presence. Trust me, it's impossible, even on your worst day. Samaya, thank you for bringing so much energy to our class. It's been a pleasure teaching and getting to know you this year. I will certainly miss you next year. Thank you. I'd like to introduce Miss Jennifer Wolfson.
My People's Choice is Emma Postosky. Emma entered Seneca's doors as a rather quiet and shy student, but quickly emerged as a gregarious social butterfly. Emma's warm smile exudes her compassionate, kind, and outgoing approach towards life. Through participating in classroom discussions, future educators, all of our chats during Lunch and Learn, and notes randomly left behind in our classroom, I enjoyed learning about her passions, her loving family, and her future goals. Emma affectionately refers to herself as a hot mess, but please know that you have grown tremendously in all areas from the girl I met in September. You have so much to be proud of, so much joy to give the world. Wear this award proudly, and let it be a reminder to continue to strive for excellence and to always follow your dreams. It has been a pleasure teaching and mentoring you this year. I have no doubt that you will have a successful experience at Seneca and as a teacher someday. Congratulations on this honor. You earned it. Our next presenter is Miss Casey Burke.
All right, so my People's Choice this year is Miss Amanda Cummings. Throughout this school year, I've watched Amanda stand out and find her way throughout Seneca. She has grown into a kind, hardworking, and compassionate student that cannot be matched by her peers. In our conversations, you have taught me new things, asked so many questions, and received advice in tough situations. Amanda, keep up the great work and never stop being who you are. I'm excited to watch you grow in these next 2 years at Seneca High School. Congratulations. Next up is Miss Lauren Creel.
Congratulations, everyone. Tonight, my People's Choice Award is Samantha Messinger McGinnis. Sam, I believe in you. This year has been one of growth, and I want you to know that it matters, that you matter, because you are making changes that will better you for the future. Hang in there. I'm not telling you it's going to be easy. I'm telling you it's going to be worth it. You will always have a special place in my heart, and I hope that you use these next couple years to spend time with yourself, figure out who Sam is, what Sam wants, and what Sam deserves. The sky's the limit, kid. I will leave you with this quote. Once you realize that you deserve better, letting go will be the best decision ever. Yeah, buddy. Looks good. Next up is Miss Nikki Wiesen.
Hi. Of all the awards given out, People's Choice is always my favorite. Students are given the opportunity to receive athletic awards, academic awards, Student of the Month awards, all outstanding achievements. What I like best about People's Choice is the fact that these fine young men and women are being recognized for being good human beings. And really, isn't that the end game? Of course, we want our kids to be intellectuals, rational thinkers, problem solvers. And if they can run fast and throw and catch a ball better than anyone else, that's fantastic too. But if they can make the world a better place with just their presence, then that's an absolute gift. I chose Rachel Isaacson this evening. I chose Rachel because of her gentle spirit and the warmth she exudes. She can see me 10 times in one day, and she doesn't miss the opportunity to give me a hearty greeting. She lights up the classroom when she enters. She works hard and is always a pleasure to be around. But what I like most about Rachel is that she isn't even aware of the magic she has inside. My wish for her tonight is that she realizes how special she is and how strong her ability to make the world a better place is. Congratulations, Rachel. All right, and then next up we have Mrs. Lambusta.
My People's Choice nominee is Hayley Mota. It's difficult to capture all that is Hayley in just a few sentences, as it is for all of the students we see before us tonight, but I'll try. Hayley has this quiet way about her, but in her I see bravery and beauty. She has a spirit that shines despite life's adversities. She is a smart, compassionate, and fierce young woman, and that's why she is my People's Choice nominee. Okay, and Mrs. Katie Gosker is up next.
Hello. I knew I was going to pick this person last year, and I tried to do seniors because we're not going to see them again. Unfortunately, this one decided to move on us at the end of this year. My 2019 People's Choice goes to Grace Scoltetti. I've had the pleasure of having Grace her freshman and this year in Spanish class. Last year she was very hardworking, was willing to work with anyone, help anyone in the classroom, but she was very quiet. This year she's in a class of all boys, and they're not quiet. She still works very hard. She's still willing to work and help out the guys in the class, but she's not as quiet in a good way. She's willing to stick up for herself and tell them to stop being so loud and annoying, and that's nice. Grace is amazing. Like I said, she's going to be definitely missed next year, and we have a little thing that if one of us is absent, we're both absent because we're not going to be left alone in that class. So my 2000 People's Choice Award. And next up, we have Mrs. Meyer and Miss Enos.
So many people wanted to nominate this young man for People's Choice that we almost had a fight over him. Thankfully, Mrs. Enos and I were able to team up, and Mrs. Johnson didn't have her tennis racket. Owen Toll, please come on up here. We have all watched this young man develop over the course of the year. It started out rough and tenuous with lots of meetings and discussions. Through it all, we knew that he wanted to change, and he was working hard to do just that. It seems like in January there was a transformation, maybe even an enlightenment, maybe a New Year's resolution. But whatever it was, he was a different person.
This student joined the tennis team and sought out mentorships with many teachers. The improvements continued as his decisions and social situations matured. Additionally, his progress continued within the classroom. For example, his participation has increased, and he has even begun to help other students in class. He has become a more positive and attentive student, which has led to even more success. You can ask any teacher who has Owen Toll in class, and they will agree that he has made a tremendous turnaround and is not only his actions, but in his attitude. We are unbelievably proud of him for all of the strides he has made, and he is incredibly deserving of this People Choice Award. And up next, because Mrs. Rondinelli is not here tonight, is Mrs. Meyer again.
Thanks. I'm presenting this award for Mrs. Rondinelli, and her People's Choice Award goes to Zach Beech. Mrs. Rondinelli met Zach 2 years ago in her biology class. He always had a positive attitude and helped to make the class a pleasure. Zach was a hard worker and always contributed and tried his best. This year, Mrs. Rondinelli has Zach in individual studies and says that Zach has shown such growth in his academic commitment and as a leader. He's very active in ROTC and is planning a career in the military. Zach is frequently requested by other students to help out and explain more difficult assignments. He even helped a senior staff member to learn a little bit of chemistry. In addition, Zach has challenged himself to move to more challenging classes. Zach proves himself to be aware of others' feelings and shows empathy for his peers. He frequently invites new students to sit with his group at lunch and involves new students in after-school gaming and meetings. He's well respected by both students and staff. It's evident he will be a great success. It is my pleasure and Mrs. Rondinelli's pleasure to acknowledge Zachary Beech for People's Choice. Next presenter is Mrs. Celeste Weldon.
Good evening. My People Choice nomination is difficult to define in a 2-minute speech. He is so much more than meets the eye. Once, an absent-minded freshman who could not remain in his seat, had papers everywhere, and never seemed to know he was interrupting the class. He underwent an amazing transformation into a focused young man ready to take on the world. Today, if I ask a teacher about him, they would say, he is extremely outgoing and creative. He gives it his all. He approaches his work imaginatively and creatively. He has a wonderful relationship with his teachers as well as his peers. He has a desire to learn and wants to soak up all the instruction that he is given. For the last 3 years, he has been a part of my anime club. Although incredibly busy this year with clubs, drama, peers, and other life things, I have still seen him a handful of times at anime meetings. Jackson, your singing can brighten the darkest of days, and when you attend our club, you light up my day. My nomination is Jackson Graham. The next up is Mrs. Lee Timpano.
So I usually choose seniors as my People's Choice recipients to reflect on their 4 years, but this girl has done enough in 3 years to deserve this award. Grace Howie. So Grace burst onto the scene as a freshman playing soccer for me and has continued to be a force of positivity at Seneca. She is a 3-sport athlete who has quite literally sacrificed herself for her teammates. Any coach she has played for probably has their own favorite story of how she has left her heart and soul on the field, court, or track. As far as grit, determination, and dedication, this girl has it all, and her enthusiasm is infectious. She cares deeply about those around her, and her loyalty and kindness is known by such a diverse group at Seneca. You can find her with her friends, teammates, or students in the Buddies Club because she truly exemplifies what it means to be a member of our Seneca family. Grace Howie, or Goey, as you have come to be known, I'm so proud of the young woman you have grown into, and Seneca is so lucky to have you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up is Mr. Sean Kirby.
Congratulations, everybody. My People's Choice Award goes to Maya Martinez. Altruism is when we act to promote someone else's welfare, even at a risk or cost to ourselves. My People's Choice selection is a mature young woman and a dedicated Seneca family member who consistently goes above and beyond, and always with a happy disposition. While there are quite a few impressive stories that can be told about this young lady, they all have a common theme: time. She has a remarkable time-bending ability and fits an enormous number of activities into our day. Whatever she chooses to spend time doing, she gives of herself intentionally, purely, and joyfully, and she honors others in the process. Allow me to both sum up this theme and conclude with a quote by Rick Warren. Time is your most precious gift because you only have a set amount of it. You can make more money, but you can't make more time. When you give someone your time, you are giving them a portion of your life that you'll never get back. Your time is your life. That is why the greatest gift you can give someone is your time. Congratulations, Maya. And next up, Mrs. Kelly Bolger.
My People's Choice this year is Gianna McIntyre. This year, a student pulled at my heartstrings and super impressed me with her resilience, grit, and perseverance. I wrote these 3 words down at the beginning of the year after a hard meeting with this student in hopes that she would meet the expectation of these 3 words this year. Resilience is the capacity to recover quickly from difficulties, and toughness. I can't look at you. She was impatient and frustrated and sad and envious, but she kept going. This was her grit, to have strength, courage, and resolve, in strength and character. She kept coming back and finding success, even when that success did not look like the success she expected it to or was used to. But she kept going and was persistent. She persevered to do something despite difficulty or delay in achieving success. Perseverance was all that I wished for Gianna, for her to use her grit to find the resilience to persevere through this school year and the unexpected challenges in her life. There was nothing I could do for her but to listen and to try to be the biggest cheerleader for her. Gianna, I am so proud of the success you have found this year. Many times you wanted to give up, but you willed yourself to stay and to do your best. G. Your best might not have looked the way you thought it would, and your struggles are not over, but I do hope that this year you learned that you are resilient and you have an amazing amount of grit and that you will always persevere through the challenges in life. And up next, I have Mr. Connect.
My People's Choice Award this year goes to Nathan Roseboro. I've gotten to know Nathan as part of our Anti-Defamation League peer training program. As a trainer, he's part of a group of students who run workshops for their peers and for our staff members on how to promote understanding and combat all forms of prejudice. Nathan is a role model for others. He's a scholar, an athlete, and an overall outstanding student here at Seneca. He is reflective, he's sincere, and he's conscientious. In fact, every staff member I told that Nathan was my People's Choice selection this year had the same reaction, and they spoke about what a great person he is. Nathan, we're so lucky to have you at Seneca for another year, and I look forward to working with you and learning from you. Our next presenter is Mrs. Amy Mosser.
My People's Choice Award goes to Olivia Smith. Olivia is a new student at Seneca this year, so I first met her at new student orientation, but I know her much better now as a student in my geometry class. Olivia was very shy and didn't come out of her shell much in the beginning of the year, but from the first week of class I could tell that Olivia was an incredibly talented student and would be very successful in geometry. I actually tried on more than one occasion to kick her out of my class and get her to move to a higher level. As the year went on, not only did Olivia continue to excel on her own, but it was amazing to see her start to open up a bit. By midway through the year, Olivia was stepping up to help work with classmates and get them caught up or help them understand the material. It has been so fun to watch how much of a leader Olivia has become in her first year at Seneca. Olivia, you are amazing, and I am so proud of you. You brighten my day and make a difference in my life. You are without a doubt one of the kindest, gentlest, most polite, and sincere students I have ever taught. I know you are destined for great things in life. Thank you for being a bright spot in my day. Up next is Mr. Ken Zerone.
My People's Choice recipient is currently in 11th grade, but was an Algebra 1 student of mine during his freshman year, and his name is Julius Sereno. Julius always came to class with his friendly and easygoing personality, a positive attitude, and a great sense of humor. He related very well to his classmates and was always kind and considerate under any circumstances. Throughout the years, whenever I would see him in the hallway, he would always take the time to say hello or to ask how I was doing. Julius, I would like to thank you and all of the People's Choice winners for making Seneca a great place to be. Congratulations. Next up, Ms. Tracy Vitale.
Good evening. My People's Choice is Kay Jaeger. Kay is a wonderful example of everything Seneca. She brings a joyful, positive energy to those around her and encourages others to participate with what's happening in and out of the classroom. She's positive, enthusiastic, supportive, and most important, kind. Most recently, she helped organize our Wellness Club's first Nest Fest 5K walk, while giving up many lunch periods to ensure our success. She's also a dedicated athlete whom I've had the pleasure to coach. I have 2 sons, no daughters. If I did, I'd want her to be just like her. You are a gift to the world. For these reasons and many more, Kay is my people's choice.
Thank you. Thank you.
Look at that smile. How could you not? Now I have the pleasure of introducing Miss Deb Doolittle and Miss Kathy Parsnitz.
Good evening. They say time flies, but how fast did these past 4 years soar by? But the memories will last a lifetime. We can honestly say we have seen this People's Choice recipient become more confident, independent, and determined as he completed his senior year. Our People's Choice is Sean Vaca.
It's been my pleasure to have Sean in my class every year since freshman year. I've watched in amazement as Sean has grown and matured. Sean works diligently with individual studies so he can help struggling students in the math class learn the concepts. Sean always has kind words for everyone and allows all people to join his group. I have taught many students in my short career because I'm so young, and I will never forget this young man. His kindness and his caring extends far beyond the classroom. Sean is a 98-year-old great-grandmom whom he visits and often talks about. And before he graduates, I'm going to FaceTime her with his help because I don't know how to FaceTime, and just tell her what a remarkable young man he is. Sean is able to stand firm in his own convictions, and your humanity humbles me.
And I'm going to honor you with this quote. May you soar on eagle's wings, high above the madness of the world. When a storm is coming, all other birds seek shelter. The eagle alone avoids the storm by flying above it. So in the storm of life, may your heart be like an eagle's and soar above. Congratulations, Sean. Continue to be awesome. Congratulations, buddy. Awesome. And our next presenter is Miss Heather Gardner.
My People's Choice Award is Michaela Bednarik. I have had the pleasure of knowing Michaela Bednarik since she was just a young girl starting out in the world of gymnastics. Throughout the years, I have watched Michaela, or Mick as we call her, mature into a beautiful young woman on both the inside and the out. Michaela is a true gem. She has maintained honor roll status throughout her 4 years of high school, but what I love most about Michaela is her determination. She has competed on the gymnastics team throughout her time here at Seneca, but this year, Michaela was unable to participate in competitions due to an injury. But that didn't stop her from showing up to practice and coming to every meet to support her teammates and offer them coaching. Excellence is never an accident. It is the result of high intention, sincere effort, intelligent direction, skillful execution, and the vision to see obstacles as opportunities. You, my friend, are excellent. Next up is Mrs. Crothers.
My People's Choice is CJ Brella. CJ has been one of my favorite students since I met him freshman year. That year in class, I was able to enjoy his stories and disruptive antics, as well as get to see his drive to be successful despite setbacks. For the last 3 years, I was able to see him grow and mature into the young adult he is today. I will miss his "Hello, Mrs. Crothers" next year, as well as seeing his smile in the halls. CJ, you're one of a kind. Good luck as you start your next chapter. Next up is Miss Sue Johnson.
I've had the pleasure of getting to know my People's Choice Award winner for all 4 years of high school and even when she was younger. Although she doesn't fall in my counseling caseload, I love getting to know her through 2 different sports teams. My People's Choice Award winner is Miss Olivia Chalupa. I first got to know Olivia actually through her sister playing tennis for me, and then freshman year as one of her swim coaches. And then I had the pleasure for the next 3 years to coach her in both tennis and swimming. Olivia is a go-getter and someone that's a natural-born leader. She may stress a little, or maybe a lot, but she's someone that will go on to do great things and make an impact in the world. Olivia, I've enjoyed watching you grow as an athlete and a student, and most of all, as a person. Watch out, University of Maryland. Olivia's coming for you. Next up, Mr. Jay Donahue.
My 2019 People's Choice Award goes to Cami Collins. Cami is the type of student that will make showing up to class every day worthwhile. I've had her twice over the last 2 years in AP US History and World Geography. She is the epitome of a hardworking, intelligent student destined to do great things when she leaves Seneca High School. However, she is more than just a gifted student. She's a great friend to her classmates, a dedicated employee at her job outside of school, and a caring person that is interested in the well-being of others. Through our time together, I've gotten to know her personality, and when it comes to school, I believe we share the same core values. I found a quote from a motivational speaker that I think best sums up Cami in school. Success means caring. You've got to care more than anyone else. Luckily, when it comes to her schoolwork, I know that she does care. I've enjoyed getting to know her and expect great things as she attends Drexel University in the fall. I will definitely miss seeing her next school year. Cami Collins. Next up, Mr. Eric Wiltsey.
My 2019 People's Choice Award winner is Bethany Casper. Bethany can be a little quiet. I've coached her the last 2 years as the field events coach for girls track. She excels in a couple events, but especially javelin. Last year, I would say she probably said about 25 total words to me throughout the entire season. When I addressed her directly, she was very polite. Usually, if I gave her instruction, I just got back a smile. It was a warm, engaging smile, but a smile nonetheless. Not very chatty, but for me, as she became a senior, she became an outstanding leader on the girls' track team. Her teammates loved her. They also noticed that she is also not particularly loud, and they would scream her name, Bethany, on many an occasion just to try to get a reaction out of her. She was a tremendously hard worker. She was always there and present, even on the dreaded day after senior trip when almost no senior was in the building. There was Bethany, tired, exhausted, but at practice nonetheless. And that meant a lot to me. It's been a wonderful experience coaching you and getting to know you. I consider myself very lucky for that to have happened. All right, Bethany Casper. Next up is Mr. Ron Jensen.
As teachers, we all get to watch students face challenges and grow as a result of how they handle those challenges. We watch these young people find themselves and begin to become who they are as people as they prepare for life after high school. I greatly admire those students. They meet those challenges as wiser and more mature people. Sam Demiri has inspired and impressed me. Sam Demiri has inspired and impressed me with his courage and maturity. I've seen him handle questions from his classmates to help them understand an often misunderstood demographic in our society. I think Seneca is a better place for having Sam here, and I'm happy to have had him in class for the past 2 years. And besides that, Sam's a bright young person with a good sense of humor and cool hair. Next up, Mrs. Melissa Plotz.
My people's choice is Tyler Donovan. I've been lucky enough to have Tyler in my English class twice, first when he was a freshman and now in his senior year. Tyler is so modest, so unassuming, that when he shared with me one day this year some details of his personal life, I was blown away. One might never guess at the incredible feats of intelligence and courage that he's accomplished in his life. From a very young age, Tyler has embodied a level of wisdom and grit that is truly breathtaking. None of my English teacher metaphors, like walking through fire or rooted like the oak tree in a storm, can adequately paint an image of his accomplishments. Nope, it's grit, pure grit and integrity of character that describe Tyler Donovan. Every day, even in incredibly challenging circumstances, Tyler has chosen and continues to choose the brave thing, the wise thing, the healthy thing. I am amazed, and I am so proud to know him. Next up, Miss Lynn Ritter.
Good evening. Every year I'm always challenged with just choosing one of my many amazing, great students. But when the request for nominations came out this year and this student instantly came into my head, I knew that this was the right choice. My people's choice for 2019 is Rachel Dorn. I've known Rachel for many years. She's a friend of the family, and it's been a real pleasure to watch her grow into the beautiful young lady that she is. And this year, on top of that, I have her in two classes every day. In those two classes, she consistently works hard, she produces quality work, and she's really shown herself to be someone I can count on. Even when I present my class of seniors with work, and they all roll their eyes and say, "Do we have to?" She gets right to work, and she says, "Come on, let's do this." So it's been a pleasure getting to know her. She's a gifted and talented artist. She has a great future in front of her, and I am very excited to see how that pans out. Congratulations. Next up, Mr. Chuck DiVincenzo.
I would like to nominate or have Isaac File come up as my People's Choice Award. I met Ike about 8 years ago. My wife and his mother are very good friends, and I always enjoy having a conversation with him. We have a love for football and photography in common. I have nominated Ike because I admire his work ethic and fighting spirit. He works hard and never gives up on anything. These two traits will be able to allow him to be successful in his future endeavors. I wish him the best as he moves on to all kinds of different things at BCC. And I'm going to introduce Mr. Matt Carr.
My People's Choice Award goes to Drew Gallagher. Tonight, Drew is joining some elite company. He is one of very few students in school history to receive multiple People's Choice Awards in his 4 years at Seneca. Drew has many fans here at Seneca, so as a tribute to him, I have some feedback from his past teachers and coaches. Coach Myra said, "Drew is that kid who just always does the right thing. He's one of the most focused, competitive athletes he's ever coached." He said, "As talented as he is, he's even a nicer kid." Mr. Colombo said, "Drew always gives great effort and is one of the most responsible students he has ever taught." Mrs. Fair said, "Carr, I just love him." Mr. Manor referred to Drew as a true leader and an example of a great human being. He also said Drew's kindness, empathy, and work ethic are unparalleled. Manna claimed if he could clone Drew, he would 100 times over. I first met Drew when he was a junior, and his positive attitude, his work ethic, and quiet leadership abilities separated himself from other athletes I've coached. With very little track experience, Drew pushed himself to become one of the fastest sprinters that our school has ever seen. Drew is a young person who just gets it. He understands the diligence needed to be successful, and he shows nothing but humility as he consistently conquers his goals and experiences new achievements. Drew, I think Mr. Manna said it best by describing you just as a great human being. You will be greatly missed, and I wish you the best in all that you take on in the future. Next up, we have Mrs. Arfuso.
I would like to nominate, and this was not a tough one, as soon as the email came out. I had one student that I've had for the last 4 years that immediately jumped out, that I knew I had to nominate her, Katie Gallagher. Do this without crying. You can't cry either. She represents the Seneca family for her gentle kindness, full of light personality, and her caring nature. She's made me laugh, and the entire class, at many, many times, pretty much every day for the past 4 years. From her trying her too tight PJs, and then the fire drill go off, to the spirit stashes that she made, as well as dressing up like Dr. Seuss for Read Across America pretty much every year. She always has a good story to tell as she enters the classroom. She was also an active member and officer for my FCCLA club and never shied away from taking the reins and covering the meetings. I'm sorry. I'm going to really miss her next year, and the halls of Seneca will not be the same ever without her.
I knew you were going to cry.
Next up, Mr. Kirk Seeley.
All right. I just want to thank everyone here tonight for giving us the opportunity to work with your amazing young adults. Let me find my page here. We're a little out of order. All right. My People's Choice Award is a person who knows what they want and knows what they like. It is because that I see a lot of myself in them as a student that I nominated them. If this person appears disinterested in your class, that's because they are. Not because of the person that is teaching or the subject, but because they figured it out. They know the lesson and they know what they want. If it looks like they want to leave the class, it's because they do. They want to be working with technology, whether it is web design, helping with their television productions, or producing podcasts for adults. The student knows their passions and usually finds a way to get them, and I've lied to them for the last 2 weeks, so the gig is up. Cody Gordon, come on out. There you go. All right. It's Seeley. You got it. There you go. Congratulations. And now I'm here to welcome to the stage Miss Jocelyn Stauffer and one.
My nominee is Madeline Graff. It is a pleasure to nominate Madeline Graff for this award. She's an absolute joy to have as a member of the Seneca family. She tries to be an active member of the family by participating in a variety of school activities. I've had the pleasure of having Maddie in class and as a member of the softball team. She's deeply committed to her schoolwork, and her presence lights up the room. I can always count on her to make me smile and laugh throughout the day. Her confidence and positive attitude encourage and inspire other students to succeed. It has been an honor to watch her grow into a beautiful young lady. She will be greatly missed next year, and I wish her all the best in her future endeavors. Next up is Mrs. Cerruti.
My People's Choice Award goes to Jordan Guerrera. I first met Jordan last year when she was a junior on the lacrosse team. Jordan decided to be a manager for the team her senior year, and just as she was as a player, her dedication, determination, and helpfulness has not faltered as a manager of the team. As a player, Jordan would clear the field of goose poop with her lacrosse stick to make sure her teammates had a clean field to play on. As a manager, Jordan was willing to fight the harsh spring conditions, that wicked wind each game, and even raced into the thick woods and thorn bushes to grab score table papers that had blown into the woods. We joke that Jordan could be my daughter's real twin. However, Jordan should know that I can only hope that my daughter grows up to be as kind-hearted, respectful, funny, determined, and dedicated young lady as she is. Congratulations. Up next is Miss Casey Beck.
My People's Choice is Caden Hasty. It is nice to come by a student that has such innate skill, yet works harder than you could ever ask for. This year, I had the pleasure to coach the boys' track team. And although all my boys are extremely respectful to me, my People's Choice stood out the most. He knows he is good because he's a natural athlete, but he works so hard at practice, and he deserves everything that he's earned and will earn. He will do anything at practice I tell him to, and only whines a little. He's a great teammate and mentor to the younger boys, and he's a dream to coach. That's why Caden Hasty is my People's Choice Award nominee. Up next is Mr. Chad Davino.
Good evening, everyone. I just wanted to say I love this night because it kind of like recovers like the diamond in the rough type of student. So I just wanted to say that. And my People's Choice this year goes to Jayla Jaeger. So coming up, Jayla. Before I start here, I'm probably just going to embarrass her real quick here. I'm just going to ask her something real quick. Did you finish that class yet, by the way? Okay. A little inside joke between her and I. So I just want to start off by saying success comes when you simply refuse to give up. With goals so strong that obstacles, failure, and loss only act as motivation. Jayla Jaeger embodies the essence of this quote, and spending time with her, even if it was for a moment, was inspiring. And Jayla's motivation is definitely few and far between. And as our school counselor, it brings me like great joy to watch her realize her potential, accept failure, and move forward. Jayla is an excellent candidate for this People's Choice Award because she is living proof that if you want something bad enough in this life, you can achieve it. I believe Jayla will continue to accept adversity and apply it to whatever endeavor she assumes in the future. Congrats, Jayla Jaeger. Up next, we have Miss Beth Stripmatter.
My People's Choice Award goes to Matt Kustrup. This year marks my 27th year in the classroom. I have taught hundreds of students. Matt Kustrup may go down in history as one of the hardest working students of my career. No matter what assignment I gave or what book we were reading, Matt was engaged. He would always participate in discussions and attack any task at hand with a plan and a goal. Matt would also often follow up outside of class with questions or comments during his study hall, where I would see him in the media center. During his study hall, if he wasn't doing work for my class, he was scratching items off his to-do list for his other classes, all of which were also AP or honors level classes. He used every minute of his study hall to be productive, be it creating study guides that he often shared with his classmates, running to catch up with Dusty or Karen or any of his other teachers, or creating a Disney itinerary for his friends. One reason I selected Matt was because I enjoyed his energy and dedication to my class. Despite my age and teaching experience, it is always nice to feel like what we do matters. Mostly, however, I selected Matt because he represents a class of students that I believe can change the world. Matt serves as a symbol of hope for our future. Like many of the class of 2019 Seneca students, Matt is bright, eager to learn, determined to succeed, and not afraid to be a nudge every once in a while in order to accomplish his goals. Thanks, Matt. It was fun to watch you embrace your education with such relentless energy. I know you will have great success throughout your life. You certainly made your mark on Seneca High School. Next up, Mr. Sam Myra.
I'd like to call up John Martinez, JM. Adolescence by nature is a time of insecurity and self-survival. I still remember that. I've known JM for several years. He always struck me as an optimistic, bright, friendly young man. Fortunately, I got to know him and his friends, the Howard brothers and Billy Hess, even better this spring when I got to chaperone the Disney class trip. I live by quotes. I drive my family crazy with my quotes. I have them all over the place. One of them is, all the happiness in the world stems from wanting others to be happy. And all the suffering in the world stems from wanting the self to be happy. That's easier for us as adults than it is for kids. But this guy, along with his roommates in Disney, I wanted to do something nice for them. And we have opportunities during the Disney trip to give the kids that we feel are a little bit deserving and just doing good things. Before I had an opportunity, I went in to do room check, and this personifies Jonathan. Him and his buddy said, "Myra, we got a gift for you." And we all have been to Disney. If you've been to Disney, nothing comes cheap. And they got me a big straw hat that I fell in love with. And I thought, here are these kids surviving and putting their money together and getting me a gift. And that, to me, is the testament of a true young man that's going to be a great, great man and be successful and happy in life. JM.
You have to say the next person.
And next up, Bobby Colombo.
My People's Choice Award winner is Jonah Mikulski. My People's Choice winner could have been nominated for many reasons. He's at the top of his class. He has helped his teams win championships. He's friendly to pretty much everyone. His leadership abilities were always on display as the unofficial captain of our bird's nest. But the main reason I picked My People's Choice is just because, as I describe him, he's an overall good dude. He's wise beyond his years, and he's someone I look forward to talking to on a daily basis. Whoever came up with the saying, "nice guys finish last," has clearly never met Jonah Mikulski. Next up is Mr. Matt Abate.
Quietly competent, an astounding ability to multitask, a true leader who is highly respected by his peers and teachers. These are just a few characteristics to describe this young man. It's hard to find a student or staff member who hasn't been positively affected by his contribution to the Seneca culture. He exemplifies what a high school student ought to be, a great student who's involved in many clubs, activities, as well as regularly volunteering his time in the community. It has truly been a pleasure to be one of his advisors over the past few years and watch him grow as a leader and young man. I wish him the best of luck in his future endeavors and thank him for the impact he has made here at Seneca. My People's Choice recipient is Stephen Oliva. Next up is Miss Tracy Betts.
Good evening. My People's Choice nominee this year is Dan Pfeffer. Pfeff is awesome. Most recently in creative drama class, he emulated a role played by Dwayne Johnson, also known as The Rock. And it occurred to me in that moment that even though I've never actually met The Rock personally, from what I do know, the similarities are uncanny. First and foremost is their physique. Both appear to be intimidating, but are truly kind, sweet, and anything but intimidating. Likewise, they are both up for anything. The Rock has played a variety of roles, and similarly, Pfeff has the go-with-the-flow personality that is appreciated in the classroom and in life. He's always the first to volunteer before he even knows what he's volunteering for. And they both have a contagious smile. When Pfeff smiles or laughs, it's impossible to not follow suit. So thank you, Pfeff, for bringing extra smiles and laughs to my life. And if I ever do get to meet The Rock, I'll be sure to let him know that he is lucky to be compared to you. And next up is Mrs. Michelle Curcio.
Congratulations to all of you. What an accomplishment. My honoree tonight is a student that I've had the pleasure of meeting and teaching this year, Jackson Prosy. Trying to describe Jackson today to some of my peers, I couldn't help but say how overwhelmingly sweet Jackson is. He's active in the school community as an athlete and a member of the junior ROTC. Jackson consistently impresses me with his positive attitude, his willingness to work with others, and his frequent displays of consideration for his peers. From helping other students in the classroom to voluntarily reading Shakespeare aloud, his hard work has not gone unnoticed. He is the most polite and unassuming student that I teach and an absolutely lovely young man. He serves as an excellent role model for younger students and has helped make my first year at Seneca a very welcoming one. Jackson, I expect you to do great things. Congratulations. Up next, Mrs. Erica Myra.
Wow, what a fantastic group of individuals. You should all be so proud of yourselves. Okay. It is very rewarding being a school counselor and working with our Seneca families for many, and sometimes many years. My People's Choice family entered Seneca in 2008, but at that time, My People's Choice was just a little girl of 6 years old. Today, she is a beautiful 18-year-old young woman. Please welcome my 2019 People's Choice, Gabby Roberts. We match. All right, so Gabby, do we live up to our name, or is it fate and a true sense of self that our name is the foundation of who we are meant to be? People with the name Gabby tend to initiate events, to be leaders rather than followers with powerful personalities. They tend to be focused on specific goals, experience a wealth of creative new ideas, and have the ability to implement these ideas with efficiency and determination. They tend to be courageous and sometimes aggressive. I like to say positively persistent. As unique, creative individuals, they tend to resent authority and sometimes stubborn, proud, and impatient. I find Gabby to be all these personality traits rolled into one dynamic young lady. It has been the greatest joy to be a part of Gabby's high school experience and helping with tasks of navigating her teenage years. Our conversations span so many heart-to-heart talks, from academics to standing up for her beliefs, both socially and in the classroom. She has also learned that resiliency is the best approach to setbacks. My most heartfelt moments have been recently in Gabby's senior year. The bumps in the road seem to smooth out as Gabby's confidence continues to grow. Her ability to understand the strife and hardship of underserved women and making it her business to help is beyond the scope of your average teenager. But then again, Gabby Roberts is not your average teenager. Gabby, you have been such a gift to me, both professionally and personally. You are ready to spread your positive persistence and make a big difference in my corner of the world. Congratulations. I got through it. Next presenter is Miss Christina Foster.
My People's Choice nominee tonight is Mr. Brett Rogers. As a student, Brett is smart and responsible, and as a person, he is funny, kind, and thoughtful. Being a new teacher can be intimidating because you're not sure how those first few students are going to respond to you, which is why I appreciated having Brett in my class. His respectfulness was reassuring and offered more support than he probably even realized. Now that he's in another one of my classes this year, I can say that his good qualities and positive attitude always shines through, and everyone who crosses his path leaves with a smile on their face. Next up, Mrs. Laura Fair.
Hello. My People's Choice is Miss Nina Rossi. Miss Nina Rossi is a fantastic young lady. Mr. Manna and I have thoroughly enjoyed having her walk into our classroom every day, ready to learn and lead the class through her positive attitude and genuine qualities. She embodies confidence, integrity, and a quiet but strong sense of leadership among her peers. Nina, thank you for being you. Next up is Mrs. Zwill.
Good evening. Last summer, as registrar here at Seneca, I registered a senior from out of state. So changing schools is hard. Doing it in your senior year and from another state can be especially difficult. There were challenges about this student's situation and getting her records from her previous schools, but she plunged right in and helped get everything done. Getting registered for school was just the beginning. Next, college applications. I've helped 2 of my own children apply to colleges, and I know it can be overwhelming. This student's unique situation made the process even trickier, and yet she persisted. She made phone calls, jumped through all the hoops put before her, asked for help when she needed, and did it all politely with a smile on her face. In a short time, I watched this student handle 2 difficult situations with maturity and grace beyond her years. I was impressed. So my 2019 People's Choice Award goes to Alexandria Smith. And next up, Dr. Sean Castle.
My People's Choice Award winner is Autumn Wells. I chose Autumn to be my People's Choice Award winner to honor her for finding and pursuing her passion. As a teacher, there is no more rewarding gift than to have a student share the same passion you do for your subject. Autumn discovered her own love of the art of writing and decided to use it to make this world a better place. For those of you who don't know Autumn, she created a blog called Extraordinary People, where she does in-depth interviews and captures everyday people who live extraordinary lives. To honor Autumn, I chose to do the same and write an article about her. One of the most extraordinary students I've ever taught. In it, I highlight her superpower, her ability to be comfortable in her own skin and to accept others for who they are. Autumn, thank you for being you. Up next, our principal, Mr. Spector.
You thought I was kidding when I said I had the best job in the world, but isn't that staff great? Thank you guys once again. And aren't these young people just amazing, man? Congratulations. So there are 3 kids up here who haven't gotten awards yet, and they're like, my name's passed alphabetically, and I really don't know Mr. Spector that well, but yeah, I got an award for you, but let me tell my story. And I can have 3 People's Choice Awards when I'm the principal. While attending our senior trip, I heard this incredible story about giving, friendship, and perseverance. A story that 3 students didn't share out loud or expect recognition for. They did it simply because it felt right to each one of them. Imagine working hard at something so that you can get something that you want. Then working hard at something so that you can give that which you want to someone else. And then getting your friends to help you give that something to someone else. That is the story that Mrs. McCluskey shared with me on the senior trip. In fairness to the students, I will not go deeper into the story, but when I heard it, I knew I had to recognize Alex Hauer, Austin Hauer, and Amber Sweet as my People's Choice. For their hard work, and more importantly, for their warm hearts. Congratulations. It's a great story. And now back to Dr. Castle.
Tonight you've had the opportunity to listen to our Seneca staff share their impressions of some of the finest young people we know. I hope you've been inspired, as I have, and remembered that these students will lead our next generation. You've made us all proud. Students, please rise. Let's have one more round of applause for our People's Choice Award winners. This concludes our 2019 People's Choice Awards. Thank you all for coming out to share in our celebration. Please be sure to pick up a program on your way out, and there are light refreshments being served in the cafeteria. We hope you will join us there. Good evening.